Hello, this is Steve Warshaw, the trade detective from RecordPriceBreakout.com, and in this video we're going to go over the stock recommendations that I made this week, or that I've been following this week on the blog, as well as the new trade that I said would be coming out on Friday, that I hinted towards, which is the new RecordPriceBreakout.com trading strategy using FTI, symbol FTI. Stock name is FMC Technology. So let's go ahead and open up that chart. I'm here in Market Club using my portfolio, and as you can see, FTI has made a nice breakout. Let's put in a couple of trend lines here so we can kind of have an idea of what I've been looking at. You can see that there was sort of this descending wedge that there was a breakout upon, and as well as breaking out above some existing highs here. The nice thing that I see about FTI, this is a long-term chart. This is a 5-year weekly chart. So one thing you can see is that it's making nice moves on this particular chart. You see a nice monthly green train triangle right there. Let's try to clean that up. There you go. There's your green trade triangle right there. Now let's go ahead and back this out to a daily chart, and we'll go to a 1 year. And actually, we'll back that out a little more. And I wanted to show you something that I think is going to be a big deal for this particular stock. So let's see if I can get something I can draw with here. Here we go. And that would be this formation right here. And I don't know if you're familiar with this one, but that is a cup with handle, and a pretty nice one. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect cup with handle, but this one actually turns out to be very clean. The volume patterns, the duration, all those things turn out to be very nice in terms of this particular pattern, which is very bullish. And the breakout above this particular trend line is what caused me to actually make this trade in the portfolio. This goes out to our premium members as I make the recommendation, but I wanted to put this out there. It's still a fantastic trade for all of you who are reading this blog free. I see FTI not only as a 52-week, a record price breakout stock, but as a great long-term trade. Let me go ahead and take all of the screen drawing off here, and let's look at a few things. One, you can see there's a nice set of higher highs happening here in the MACD. We're seeing a nice positive momentum shift. We see that price went ahead and crossed above the 200-day moving average, as well as getting that green trade triangle. That indicates that there is a major shift in trend, and it's not something that's super choppy. If you start getting a lot of sideways motion, you may see more frequent monthly trade triangles, but as things start to really trend, you can see that these, tend to take a little longer, and that you can be catching a nice new trend there. And being that this is a cup with handle pattern, I honestly believe that's what's happening. You got a plus 90 score. It would be 100, except for the fact that on Friday we closed kind of in the lower part. Let me just scope this in a little bit here. We closed in the lower part of the candle here. We didn't close on the highs for the day, but you can kind of expect that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see this stock come up here and kind of retrace and test this 50 level again. But I think this stock is definitely off to the races. All right, so that's the new recommendation. Let's go ahead and go back to our portfolio here and look at some other stocks that I recommended. So, wrong button. Let's go portfolio. And back to recordpricebreakout.com. Here's a recommendation I think I made on Wednesday or Thursday. This is Lithia Motors. Interestingly enough, and this doesn't happen real often, but take a look at this pattern, folks. Boom. Honestly, it looks like another cup with handle. I'll just take that off the screen so that I can scroll here a little bit. But again, you can see a nice um, direction shift here in the on-balance volume to the positive direction. You can see nice increase above average volume during the breakout here. You're seeing higher highs in the MACD, so momentum looks like it's headed in the right direction. And this is another stock that I believe can make a significant gain. Right now it's at 23.68. I see no reason why in the near term, very near term, 2 months, if we could get to 30 on Lithia Motors, and I don't see why it wouldn't even go higher than that. Let's actually back out. Oh, by the way, and Friday also a brand new green trade triangle. So let's back this out. Let's see. Look at a 2-year chart here. You can see that the trade triangles have worked really well here on Lithia Motors. Let's grab my circle tool here. Here's a monthly. Here's a monthly. This is a long-term trend. If you could have caught, any of these shifts and use whatever your favorite trading system is in between here, you'd have done pretty well. This would have got you out, as far as a long-term trade, and this would get you back in. I think that this is going to go well beyond 30. In fact, let's get the max data. I think Market Club will back this out about 7 or 8 years here. And we can go ahead and put in some trend lines. And actually, let me start with the Fibonacci numbers. I think you might find this interesting because you'll see that we're sitting right at the 61.8% retracement level. This is a critical moment. If 61.8% acts as resistance and it holds, then this trend, this is not necessarily reversal. But what I would like to see happen, and what I believe can happen, is that this stock will break above 61.8, maybe retest, and then continue higher. I don't see any reason why that's not going to happen. So let me take that little drawing off the screen here, and let's put in a couple of trend lines, long-term trend lines. So first of all, you can see that there's some. Actually, I need to make this a weekly chart here, and this will make a lot more sense. But there's some levels of resistance to think about here, right near where that 61.8 is, right? Somewhere around in here is where we're looking at for resistance. So, if we can break above that, there's no reason why Lithia can't go and retest these all-time highs here in the 35 range. I don't see a lot of significant overhead resistance blocking that. There might be some old long-term buy and hold people back from the earliest would have been 2007, but back in 2003, who were for some reason still holding on to this stock, where you might see some resistance. But honestly, this pattern looks really solid, and I think that this stock is going to continue higher. Also, we're at a plus 90 score. Again, the reason why it's not 100 is last week the Dow kind of came out, and then so the whole market kind of settled back down. We're headed towards the crazy time. After December 15th, you start getting thinner and thinner trading volume. So you have to be a little bit more careful. But I think this stock is headed in the right direction. All right, let's go ahead and go to Halo, which is another 52-week high Friday trade that we picked. And this stock was one that I said, it's not just a 52-week high Friday rule stock, but it's also something that I'm holding for a longer-term trade because it's got a lot of great potential. You can see that it's had this sort of like rounded bottom going on here, and had a nice breakout above 7.5. Came back, kind of settled in, or getting some support around $8. Once it broke, and I got in at the day that it broke this sort of descending wedge pattern at $8.23. Let me get this drawn on the screen here. So there's this kind of like, it either looks like a triangle depending on how you draw it, but it broke out here, and it's continuing to go on. It's looking like a very nice trade. My initial target for this stock was $10. But if we go ahead and back this out even further, let's go to a 5-year weekly because I love to go to that chart. you know, Lithia is looking like it's headed for all-time highs. You know, once it breaks $10, if it can do it, um, you know, there's not a lot of overhead resistance anywhere to be found. We got a new monthly trade triangle here as it broke the 200-day moving average. As you can see, it's tried to do this a couple of times, but the highest that it got was around $9, which is now broken. You know, so let's look for that as a place for support now that that's broken. The absolute drop dead point at this point would be $8. If it goes below that and closes below $8, that's where I would close the trade. But it's definitely, I think, going to $10 and possibly quite a bit further. Okay, let's go to the last stock here, and that's going to be the iShares Nasdaq Biotech ETF. This is an ETF that tracks pharma. So Halozyme is I'm not sorry, not pharma, but biotech. And when I was searching and I found Halozyme, I noticed a lot of leadership from pharmaceutical and biotech stocks. And it just so happens that Halozyme was in the process, or I'm sorry, IBB was in the process of breaking out of this sort of this ascending wedge pattern. Let's make this a line so it kind of looks a little better here, and I should be able to adjust this a little bit, but something like this. You know, it's definitely an ascending way, you know, a trend channel here, and the breakout is looking like it could be very nice. You got a strong move above the 200-day moving average on increasing volume. Of course, that's always a good sign. So that at this point is right around the 100 level anyway. So that's right now is what I'm looking at as far as support for this stock. You know, you see a little resistance here at the you know, 100 and let's say 101 and a half, 102 level. We kind of broke through that. So it's looking like this stock could easily go and test these 5-year highs at you know, the 110 area. So that's a nice 10% move. And in an ETF, you know, this is a very safe trade. So that is the IBB. And again, you know, you're not seeing any kind of divergence in the MACD. The OBV, the on-balance volume, looks very solid. All the trends look good. You're seeing nice. Let me pull these back up on a daily. You know, it gapped up through that 200-day moving average. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do, and it's holding. So, you know, let's look at that as positive. You got a nice new monthly trade triangle. I think this is very solid. You know, this sort of double topping formation has played itself out. And let's put in the Fibonacci numbers here. 110 down here to the lows in the 80, like 83 range. This is another thing that made me very positive about this stock. As you can see, 61.8% was resistance. It is now broken through that. And so we're going to go ahead and look at that point, that 100 level, as being sort of the line in the sand. If we can stay above that, this stock is going to this stock and this market are going to continue headed higher. So that's it. That's the portfolio review as far as the stocks recommendations that I made this week. And I hope you find them educational and that you can trade profitably from them. Take care.